Welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday, and our vendors have all new stuff again. Let's check it out, starting in the Scholarium. First up, we have Bound Affix Script Empower. Adds Empower, a buff increasing heavy attack damage. Bound Focus Script Trauma. Adds healing absorption effect. And Bound Signature Script Thief Swiftness. Adds improvement to your mobility. Looks like that's it. Let's head down into the sewers and see what the Telvar Merchant has. All right, we made it into Imperial Sewers. Let's see what she has. First up, we have Stonefall's Treasure Maps. Definitely don't recommend this one at 6,000 Telvar when you can buy it off Guild Traders for a couple hundred gold. But Stonefalls brings us Shadow of the Red Mountain, Shulk Exoskeleton, and Silks of the Sun, as well as a chance for Ancestral Nord bows or chest leads. But yeah, if you need Stonefall Treasure Maps, just buy them off Traders. I would save your Telvar. Okay, our scripts, we have Bound Affix Script Force. Adds Force, a buff increasing critical damage. Bound Affix Script Savagery and Prophecy. Adds Savagery and Prophecy, buffs increasing weapon and spell critical chance. Bound Focus Script Flame Damage. Adds Flame Damage. And Bound Signature Script Anchorite's Potency. Adds a Consumed Soul Gem to grant ultimate effect. Next up, we have Elemental Storm of Violet Purple. This one you can just buy at the Undaunted Enclave from Madge for 40 keys. You can find those Undaunted Enclaves in Deshaun, Grotwood, and Stormhaven, which if you have 40 keys, you probably already know. All right. Yeah, and compared to 40 keys, I don't think it's worth 125,000 Telvar, but I do tend to run more pledges than run around in PvP zones, so that might not be the case for you. All right, our leads. Our first one is Magicka Imbued Metal Plates. This is for the Snow Treaders Mythic and drops from a Cyrodiil Delve. You can find it in Underpaw Cave, Toadstool Hollow, Capstone Cave, and Red Ruby Cave. Maybe others. Those are the ones I found that were confirmed. And then our next lead is Scrib Chitin Padding for Crypt Cannon's Vestments. This one drops off the Telvanni World Boss Clamor Clap Bowl. Out of the two, I think this one's the more difficult one to get, especially since as we're done with zones, we tend to run the world bosses less and less. But neither one is super exciting to me, honestly. And then for jewelry, we have a Necklace and Ring of the Heartland and Amulet and Ring of Netch Oil. All right, time to head over to Infinite Archive. And here we are with Filer Ul. Let's see what he has.
Don't complain to me if you want.
All right, first up, we have a book, A Feast Among the Dead, Chapter 3. This one comes out of Infinite Archive, but the eidetic memory is from the Necrom Outlaw Refuge. If you don't know how the eidetic memory is connected to the book furnishings, check out the link below and read my article. All right, next up, we have Archival Enigmas. Consume 20 Archival Enigmas to unlock the Veteran of the Infinite achievement and the Veteran of the Infinite face art. Here's our face art. I think at 3,000 archival fortunes apiece, when you need 20 of them, knowing that they're guaranteed to drop eventually doing your dailies, we can skip this one. Next up, we have Betnik Treasure Maps, kind of like the other one, at 2,000 archival fortunes apiece, knowing that these sell for a couple hundred gold from traders. I don't believe this one to be worth it. Of course, Betnik only drops Armor of the Trainee in several weights. However, you also have the chance to get leads for the Ancestral Orc belts or staves motifs, but still, just get them from Guild Traders. Next up, we have scripts. We have Bound Affix Script Evasion. Adds Evasion, a buff reducing damage from area effects. Bound Affix Script Magicka Steel. Adds Magicka Steel, a debuff granting Magicka Restoration to attackers. Bound Focus Script Generate Ultimate. Adds Ultimate Generation. And Bound Signature Script Anchorite's Cruelty. Adds a Consumed Soul Gem to deal Oblivion damage effect. Next, we have the Domahouse Shoulder. Once again, I usually just recommend that you get the shoulders as they come available because you're spending keys. You're not at the mercy of RNG. It's not a big grind as long as you have some keys. But it is here for 15,000 archival fortunes if you need it. Of course, Domahouse comes out of Falkreath Hold. Next up, we have companion equipment light armor. I typically don't recommend these. You're at the mercy of RNG as to which trait you get, and the trait determines how useful it is. As well as whenever you buy it this way, they are bound, which means you can't sell them, you can't give them to friends, you can't put them in a guild bank. So I think 5,000 archival fortunes, considering all that, is pretty steep, but you do you. All right, next up we have a Tales of Tribute deck fragment. This is part of the Druid King deck for Tales of Tribute. This one is found occasionally in Delves on Galen. This is the Delver's Druid deck fragment. Our first plan, we have Design Druidic Chandelier Fire Song. On PCNA, this runs 45 to 58k and is beautiful. Our next one is Design Solitude Platter Ribs. There's only one listing on PCNA for 50,000 gold. On PCEU, it looks like it's a little bit cheaper but there's only two listings. 29k and 40k. So not a bad one to get. Next up, we have Fenlirian's Journal. This drops an infinite archive, but the eidetic memory is found in Apocrypha. And of course, as with any books, my guild hall is open on PC, NA, and EU. I have all the books if you need to read them. It does count to read eidetic memory, not Mage's Guild books, but eidetic memory in someone else's house, so feel free. I'm listed in home tours. Our first lead is Grumite Flesh Soul. This is part of Mad God's Dancing Shoes. This one comes from the Solstice World Boss Ruins of Teneria. And then our next lead is Liminal Glass. This is one of 3 pieces for the Trifold Mirror of Alternatives furnishing. And this lead drops off the Telvanni Peninsula World Boss Nightmare Den. And that one is kind of a nightmare. Next up, we have Argonian Seat of Authority pattern. On PCNA, this is running 70 to 100k. It looks like it's averaging closer to 20k on PCEU, so not quite as good of a deal, but it's going to be a lot easier to find it here, honestly. So if you're trying to complete your patterns, not a bad deal at 2,000 archival fortunes. And finally, we have Unearthed Valenwood Seedling. Consume 25 Unearthed Valenwood Seedlings along with 25 Lost Grot Oak Acorns to unlock the Great Oaks from Little Acorns achievement and the Grot Oak Squirrel Pet. So these 25 would drop from the Underweave in Apocrypha. The Acorns drop out of the public dungeon in Telvanni Peninsula. So you would need all 50 pieces to make your squirrel. These run about 3,500 to 4,000 gold on PCNA. I do think 1,000 archival fortunes isn't bad, but I wouldn't buy all of them this way. I would only do this if you're only missing maybe a few. All right, looks like that's everything. Time to run Infinite Archive and see what new gear is dropping this week. We just finished running a couple arcs of Infinite Archive, and it looks like this week we have gear from Malabal Tor, which includes Salvation, Spinner's Garments, and Thunderbug's Carapace, as well as from Clockwork City, which includes Livewire, Mad Tinker, and Unfathomable Darkness. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.